If you do not know my story, at the beginning of this year, I got laid off from my job, and it is now August, and I still do not have a job. So it's been over 6 months of me looking for full time employment again. Thankfully, I have this YouTube channel, so I have been able to make money through the YouTube channel, and we'll get into that more in this video. But yeah, I'm just documenting my life and the I was about to say ups and downs, but it's been more downs than ups, to be honest with you. But yes, I've been documenting everything that's been going on in my life. And I do that because my channel is based around personal finance and transparency around money. But also, there are literally hundreds of thousands of people who are in the same position as me right now, unfortunately. And so I've been told these videos are really relatable, and people, um, they like watching these videos because it just shows that, yes, you're not alone. You're not crazy. You are qualified for that job. This job market just really sucks right now, to be frank about it. So you are not alone. We're all going through this. Yeah, so let's get into today's budget, or this month's budget. So let's talk about income first. So even though, like I just said, hundreds of thousands of people have been laid off this year, like I'm not an outlier in that regard. But I am a little different in the sense that I am a content creator. It feels weird saying that out loud, but yeah, I guess I have to like come to terms with that now, that like, yes, I'm a content creator. At the beginning of this year, I had like 10,000 subscribers, and then the video where I got laid off went viral. But that 10,000 subscribers, I've been making YouTube videos since like 2015, and it took me like 5 years or something to get to like 1,000 subscribers. And since then, it's just been very, 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 very slow progress to build an online community. And so it wasn't until like the end of last year, like December of last year, that I finally hit like 10,000 subscribers. And so now, like at the recording of this video, I have like 46,000 subscribers on YouTube. So it's very surreal for me to say like, oh, I'm a YouTuber, oh, I'm a content creator. But I guess someone told me that I need to like shift the narrative of who I am in my mind, and that my narrative may be outdated. So I'm trying to do that and come to terms with like, yes, I'm a YouTuber. um, but yes, I just wanted to say that because this income is actually large. So this is under the conglomerate of content creation. So the different ways that I make money, like I have multiple ways that I make money through content creation. But in August, I am expecting to make $4,953 all through content creation. So that is a mixture of the AdSense money. So every time you watch a YouTube video, there's going to be ads on it, unless you have YouTube Premium and you're fancy like that. But yeah, every time you watch an ad, the person whose video you're watching, they get paid for that. So I get paid through the AdSense. I also have a membership on my channel. I also sell digital products. I also am at the point where I am getting sponsorships, which is great. And I also, people have been super, super kind and generous, like amazing levels of generosity. And people can give money through my YouTube channel. So the super thanks, if you see that icon, people give money through there. And then I also have a buy me a coffee link, and people have been really, really kind and have donated me money through that link as well. So not in this video, in a separate video that I'm going to make, I'm going to go through like how exactly I've been making money, like my real AdSense revenue that I've been making every month this year. So I'm going to do a separate video about that. But just for the sake of this video, I'm combining everything into one, and I'm expecting to make that much in August. I will say that the way that YouTube pays you, so part of that number that I just said, that's how much I made in July. So YouTube pays you like a month, they pay you once a month, but they're behind a month. So in August, I'll get paid either on the 20th or the 21st. And that is how much YouTube ad revenue I made back in July. So I don't know how much I'm actually going to make in August from YouTube. That number that I said, these are all things that happen in July, but they don't pay out until August. So yes, sorry, that's kind of a long-winded answer, but yes, I'm super grateful for that. That is insane. If I was making that type of money from content creation back when I had a full-time job, I don't even know what I would do. I don't even like that. I wouldn't have even been able to imagine that. So it's like a bittersweet feeling, because as you'll see in a second, even though that's an insane amount of money, I'm still going to be in the negative this month. So I am grateful. And at the same time, I wish that I wasn't in the negative this month still. So yeah, and like I said, I'm going to make a separate video just about like YouTube and how content creators get paid through YouTube and the different ways that you can make money. So I am going to make a video like that. But if you have any questions that you want me to answer in that upcoming video, leave some comments down below so that I can address them in the other video. But yes, so income for August, I'm expecting $4,953.54 to come in August. And that's amazing. However, when your income is high, it doesn't really matter if your expenses are also high. And that is my case. So let's go through my expenses. The biggest one is my mortgage. My mortgage, since I've bought the house, I set my mortgage up to be paid bi-weekly. So every other Friday, I pay my mortgage. So my mortgage is $2,800, but I divide that in two. So every other Friday, I got to pay my mortgage lender $1,400. And the reason I did that is because for two reasons. So number one, if you do that, you're actually making an additional mortgage payment every year. So instead of 12, you're actually doing 13 mortgage payments every year. And that's a quicker way to pay down your house. So I knew that before buying the house, and I set it up that way from my first mortgage payment to be able to do it bi-weekly. If you're interested in doing that, if that works for your financial situation, that's great. But in order to do that, you have to like pay ahead 1 month. So yeah, so it ends up being more expensive up front because you do have to pay ahead a month, and then they'll let you set it up to be bi-weekly. At least for my mortgage lender, it was like that. But I felt it was worth it so that I can pay down my mortgage more quickly. I forget exactly how many years it shaves off, but like my mortgage is for 30 years, but by doing it bi-weekly, it does shave off some years if you do it that way. So that was one thing, or that was one reason why I did it that way. So another reason I set it up to be paid bi-weekly is so that it could align with my paychecks. So $2,800 is the actual amount of my mortgage. And if I did that just one lump payment, that would take up a big amount of a paycheck. So if I think back when life was easier, I think that my paycheck was like $3,300 every other week. So instead of like that first paycheck that I get out of the month, 3,300 minus 2,800 would leave me with like $500 in that paycheck. And that wasn't a lot of wiggle room. So I also like the fact that if I pay my mortgage bi-weekly, then it would divide it into half. So out of that 3,300 paycheck, 1,400 would go towards my mortgage. So that would leave me with almost 2,000. Is it 1,900? I'm trying to do quick math in my head. Is that 19? No, wait, hold on. I hate being put on the spot to do math on the spot. Yes, okay, I was right. So then that would leave me with like $1,900 for each paycheck to do stuff with. And I opted for that so that I could have more wiggle room with each paycheck and so that I could pay down my mortgage more quickly. And so my mortgage is still set to be paid bi-weekly. And one con of that is there are 2 months out of the year where instead of making 2 mortgage payments, I will have to make 3 mortgage payments in a month. And August just happens to be one of those months. So instead of putting $2,800 towards my mortgage this month, I'll actually have to do $2,800 plus $1,400. So I'll actually have to put $4,200 towards my mortgage this month without having a full-time job. I'm sorry, I swallowed really hard because like saying that out loud makes me want to throw up. Um, yeah, so my income that I'm making from content creation, that is a higher amount. That's a pretty high amount. Some sponsorships, they finally paid this month, so it's just God's timing that that money hit this month. But I definitely needed it this month because my expenses are so high this month. So another big expense is groceries. I still allocate $350 a month towards groceries. I am trying to cut down on that. I'm actually testing it out this month to see if I can get lower than $350. So I've started shopping at like farmers markets more, and then just trying to shop my house before going to get groceries. So what basically that means making sure that I'm using the food that I have before going to get more food. My energy bill, that is $153 this month. My health insurance is $350. That stays the same every month. Toiletries, trying to get that down to $50 this month. Water bill is still around $60. The gym is $25. Even though I am actually going to talk to them to downgrade my membership. So I go to Planet Fitness, pretty typical gym membership. That $25 is for the black card, and I don't need that. It is convenient for when I'm traveling, so I can still work out, but I'd rather keep that $15 at this point. I'd rather keep that $15. So I'm going to talk to them this month about downgrading that to the $10 a month plan. I will miss that hydro massage bed. I use that all the time. So I will miss that perk, but first world problems. I'll get over it. My credit card debt, because I still have a considerable amount of credit card debt. I'm going to put $200 towards that this month. My security plan is $30 a month. My internet is $90 a month. My phone bill is $25 a month. People have been surprised that my phone bill is so low. Number one, it's that low because my phone is paid for. I bought my phone outright, so I'm only paying for the data plan at this point, and I use Visible for my data plan. So I have a link down below if you're interested in trying them out. Oh, and gas. So I'm allocating more towards gas this month, $100. I am going out of town for a wedding, and sorry, that's the sound of my computer. I was transferring files to my hard drive. But yeah, I'm going out of town for a wedding, and I'll have to drive there. So wanted to allocate more towards gas. If you saw my video from a couple weeks ago when I was talking about tithing, I don't have tithing in the budget right now. I like to make sure that my income is actually going to come in. So that like $4,900 that I was saying before, that's from multiple sources, and it all hasn't hit my bank account yet. So once I know for sure that that money is going to hit, then I can budget in tithing. So yeah, as things are currently, I'm in the negative by $300 $79.94. Great. So while that's not good, it's still better than it could have been. I'm really grateful that some of these sponsorships are going to be paying out this month. That really helps because I have that additional like $1,400 that I have to put towards my mortgage this month. So I'm happy about that at the very least. And that's probably the closest I've been to breaking even in a very long time. So I am happy about that. I'm sorry if I feel or if I sound like a little low energy. Yesterday was actually like a very hard mental health day for me. And I'm actually going to make like a video about that. So look out for that video. It shouldn't take long for that to come out. But yeah, the gravity of everything hit like really, really hard yesterday. And yesterday was a bad day for me. So I see y'all's comments. I'm not able to respond to everybody's comment, but I do see people's comments. So it's a bad situation, right? I am applying for jobs. I'm applying for jobs that are in my industry. I'm applying for jobs that aren't in my industry. I'm applying for admin type jobs. I don't hear anything. I don't hear anything. I apply, there's no response. And if there is a response, it's a no. I've applied for gig work, so I signed up for Amazon Flex. They waitlisted me. They said that they have too many drivers right now. So I've been waitlisted for that. I signed up for Instacart to be an Instacart shopper. They waitlisted me as well. I've actually done Uber Eats before. Back when I was paying off my car, I did Uber Eats for a couple of months. I stopped though because the weather was changing and I worked a full-time job. So I was working like after work, or I would drive after work, and it got to the point where like it would be dark at 5 p.m. and I just didn't feel safe like walking up to people's houses at night. So I stopped doing DoorDash after a couple of months. I can try that. The idea of being like Uber or something like that makes me a little anxious as well. Just, you know, as a woman, I've said before on the channel, but I'm pretty short. Like I'm a petite person. So as a petite woman, and just like anybody getting in my car, that does make me feel a little anxious. But my parents are also against the idea. They don't want me like driving people around and everything. And I'm just like, I mean, I don't really want to do that either, mom and daddy, but these bills got to get paid. So I've also heard the option of like, oh, what if you were a substitute teacher? So I have thought about that. In my area, school hasn't started yet. So, but it is like school's going to start this month. So I need to learn the process of how do I actually become a substitute teacher. Like I don't know how to do that, but the internet is free. So between the internet and ChatGPT and stuff, I'm sure I can figure out how to become a substitute teacher. So I am willing to do that. Now, since I'm short, I don't want to substitute teach for like like high schoolers, because high schoolers are actually taller than me. And honestly, like most middle schoolers are going to be taller than me too. Because my niece is 12 and she's in middle school, and I don't like admitting this to her, but she is actually taller than me by maybe a few inches at this point. So like with high schoolers, with me being shorter than them, and then some people say that I have a young looking face, I just feel like, I don't know, I don't want to be around a bunch of like teenage boys and stuff. And middle schoolers may not be all that much better either, because nowadays these kids look grown. So substitute teaching, I would do it for like elementary school. Yeah. People have also asked me like, would I do like an adjunct or be like an adjunct professor at a college? I've not seen any colleges nearby where I can apply for roles like that. I also don't know if I'm really all that qualified to be a teacher, honestly. I've never done anything like that. So, I don't know. My point in saying all this, I am exploring other options. I am not just looking for tech jobs at this point. I'm looking for jobs. I'm looking for jobs. Um, yeah, so it's a lot. It's stressful. It's a lot. It's stressful. There's some days where it's not weighing on me as much, and then there's other days where it just feels like a stack of bricks is like laying on my chest. So yesterday was one of those days, and today is a little better, but still not. I'm still not in like a really good headspace, to be honest with you. So, but like I said, I'll talk more about that in another video. But this video is just about August and the budget for August. So yeah, that's what I'm up against. That's what I'm facing. So could definitely be worse. I'm really grateful that I've been able to make that type of income just through content creation. It would be really nice if I could always make that type of money, but that is a higher month than other months. Like I said, like multiple sponsorships are being paid out in August, hopefully. So that's a major plus, and it brought up the income that I can make. So hopefully this video was helpful or informative. Mentally, I still kind of feel like a little all over the place. So bear with me if you felt like this video was a little all over the place. Those of you who pray, please pray for me. Keep me in your prayers. If you don't pray, just send me good vibes. I appreciate and I accept it all. So thank you so much for watching. Leave a thumbs up if you like this video. Leave some comments down below. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you're not already subscribed. And I will see you next time.